How long have I been telling y'all that Lex Wesner, the owner of Victoria's Secret, was not only on Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs, but he was actually what is referred to as the head of the dragon of the entire trafficking ring? I've been saying that for almost 2 years. I can tell you everyone that's on the Epstein flight logs, all the ones that have been released and all the ones that haven't been released yet, and all the ones that never will be released. Everyone that is defending that country over there that's committing a genocide is on the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs. I promise you. That's what this was always about. It was always about building the third temple to make the ultimate sacrifice, to usher in this evil, wicked leader that will run the world. This is five-dimensional chess. This country was going to need this kind of political leverage in order to commit the genocide that they're doing right now. The entire operation was to make sure that America would commit to what they were trying to do, because they need to take over Jerusalem. They need to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and they need to rebuild the temple. The reason that some of those names are being released on the logs is because America isn't doing enough about that situation. This is just a threat of what is to come. It's meant to put pressure on all those people who were on those flight logs whose names haven't been released yet. All of the names that the public were gifted by the courts were just people that we already knew were on there, or basically nobodies in the big scheme of things. Now I want you to do a little more math. All of the people that are bending over backwards to defend what's happening over there, think of all the other things they've defended. And now you have the entire scheme. And yes, it's all coming from the same place. It's the Babylonians. They are still around. This is actually a battle of good and evil. And I don't like to deal in dualistic situations, but we are very much dealing with people who like to hurt other people and conquer and destroy and subvert and lie and commit violence, and people who just want a decent world. There's lots of different ways we can try to categorize them, but let's just call them Cains and Abels. This is a war between Cains and Abels. There are Cains in your home. There are Cains in your workplace. You might be married to a Cain. Some of us fed the good wolf, and some of us fed the bad wolf. And some of us are from lineages that fed the bad wolf a lot, and others are from lineages that fed the good wolf a lot. It's all about epigenetic layering. And although some people are so far gone, you don't even know what to do with them, you just got to stay away from them, all people can be healed. All people can be transfigured into a better person. And it's all about epigenetic layering, because everything you ever do gets layered on your DNA and changes your nature. That's why Cain is cursed for many generations. Once Cain commits violence, it is epigenetically layered on his DNA, and he is more likely to do it in the future, and all of his children are more likely, like by science, like legitimately. So anyways, you have to think about these folks that are doing this really terrible thing, but you have to think about all the terrible things that happen to them. How many times did they go through a really difficult situation where whoever survived had to do probably some pretty ugly things to make it out? That was all epigenetically layered, all that violence, all that suffering, okay? There's a part of this that's just trauma, and we have to find a way to be able to forgive them too. That's the only way we're really going to be able to get past this, because if we meet this with the violence, the way they're meeting their situation with violence because they had violence committed against them 60-something years ago, then we're just going to keep the vicious cycle going. We have to figure out a way to transmute all this, to heal the whole world from it, right? Trauma's real, and we've been going through it for 10,000 years or more. And, it's not easy being a human being, right? So just try to put all those puzzle pieces together. And at the same time, try to have as open as a heart as you can while protecting yourself, because narcissistic psychopaths are extremely dangerous, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You've got to have a balance, half hitman, half monk.